Welcome everybody, I'm Raetac and this is my world tour of Modern Skyblock 2. Now as you can see, this is not my world as it is now. I'm just painting the picture of where I started. With Modern Skyblock 2 you have the, I wouldn't say ability, when you first start off with the Skyblock you are landed on, well, you have to create an island to start off with. Now there are, I believe, well, I have personally seen four island types you can particularly start off with, and with each individual starting, the initial early stages of the game are quite different. There is a snow block island, for example. There's an island which is just a tree. There's island with sand that I'm definitely aware of. I'm fairly sure there is another island there too, but I'm not really too sure about that. But this is the island I started out on. A block of wood, a water source, and a piece of string. So, if you haven't played my Modern Skyblock 2 and you're interested, this is the way to go about things. So let's get back into first person view. Now, the Modern Skyblock 2 works on a mod called Sky Factory? No. It is... Let me see. That's modern. Firstly, you've got your book here to give you a bit of an idea on how to go. Now, apparently, pressing G for the Sky Resources 2 guide. My pressing G is not working. I wonder why. Maybe it's something to do with my options, but let's go have a look. Let me see. Controls. Search. Aha! Let's change that to something perhaps... Actually, we'll show the conflicts. Reset. Show conflicts. So what is G actually conflicting with? Must be something. Here we are. Open guide. Why is that conflicting with something else? Curious. As of the recording, I have actually updated my mod pack, and apparently there is a conflict with this guide. No, right bracket will not do. Shift 1? No. How about Shift G? No, that won't work either. Control G? We'll try that. Back to game. Control G. Yeah, here we are. Sky Resources 2 has its own guide, I suppose. The basics and the particular islands that you can actually end up on. You can start on a sand island, like I discussed, the snow island. I started on the wood island, and it gives you a really good guide on how to progress. Now, with the power of editing and everything else like that, I am going to fade in my world as it stands right now. And here we are. The world as it stands right now. Now, of course, if you've been following me on my live stream channel, twitch.tv/Raetac, you would have seen most of this build happen already. Now, if you're lucky, some of those live streams will be still on twitch.tv. If not, well, I'm sorry, but you've missed the boat on that score. And, yeah, I really should encourage people to follow me there, because it seems to be the future of my channel. Alright, from my little block of water and string and such, we were able to build and gain trees and what have you, and progress through the Sky Resources quest book. Now, if we go back to that quest book, we can just go through a little bit of everything. and it does really tell you how to progress. Now, the whole, I suppose not quite linchpin, but the whole focus of Sky Resources to start off with, you're working with this thing called a combustion heater, which you add items into. Initially, it is a real pain in the butt to automate, but once you get to a stage where you can actually start like gaining metals, in this pack is very different to anything else, much different to Ex Nihilo. You're using this thing called a condenser, which you have to make these ore dusts. Now, if I just go say dust here in JEI, I want to call it NEI for some particular reason because I'm old school, I suppose. And you say, I want some iron. So you need rotten flesh plus blaze powder in these crafting tables here. Now, then you get that, you place that in there. With this whole setup, you place... I don't actually have any on me. This is a good idea to demonstrate. Yeah. So eventually, we managed to get machines, and we're able to make is it Tech Reborn? Yeah, Tech Reborn machines to help everything along the way. So you take pretty much glass using these alchemical dusts. You create them. If you first make the Primus ones in the combustion, that's again. It's a multi-block which took a lot to actually understand how it actually worked, but eventually we got there. So you make the dust, etc. Put the dust in here. They have different tiers of dust. You take the crystal shards out. We've got glass in there already, so let's just fill that up right now, because crystal shards pretty much are the backbone to making metals. So if we got the iron alchemical dusts in here as they stand, the resulting liquid, as it gets melted down in the clay brick crucible there, underneath, well, lava, very similar to Ex Nihilo. That liquid gets poured out into, with these liquid droppers here, into a space above the condenser, and it forces the dust into the liquid, and then dropping through into that chest comes our metal, which is really, really good. It's slow at the moment, but it will get quicker as you level up through the tiers of condensers, the actual frames where you put the condensers into, and that sort of thing. Right, at this particular time, I've progressed past. I think it's actually gated at steel. The pack itself forces you through immersive engineering. So we've managed to do the whole getting cold coke, making steel, and we have made the multi-block of the grinder. So we're kind of at it like I suppose a branching off of things. But the other thing that we do need to, well, I need to basically progress through now, is now we've actually got the steel, there's another thing that we need to do, and that is get into what is it? Actually, additions, the whole empowering stuff. So again, actually additions, the Reconstructor and the Empowerer. The Reconstructor I've done a little bit on, which is not that bad. It just requires power. Actually, it's not even attaching to power. I'm not entirely sure why. Why are you not attaching to power? That's a very good question. I wish to know. Is it due to... Yeah, there we go. Now it's got power. We've also got... That was bound to happen. Don't worry about that. I've yet to make the sound muffler. There's a very good reason why explosions are happening, and the reason why I'm not worried about them either. We have a pretty standard vanilla spawner, right? You get pretty standard things. Skeletons, creepers, what have you. That top layer there is platformed off, so no spiders will spawn. So we get quite a good, considerable amount of gunpowder. That gunpowder, if we go down to my cobble pillar, we're feeding into explosive generators from extra utilities. So we're using that renewable resources via the power of vanilla spawns to make us power. So that's what the explosions are all about. I really do need to make a sound muffler for that area. So with that, we're starting to progress into a new tier of things, but the actual empower through extra utilities. Now, I'm trying to remember exactly where I was going with the pack itself, and I think if we look into the guidebook, we're going to find out. It's got guides for pretty much a lot of things in here, but it's the modern skyblock we want. Now, that's right, the smeltery. Multi-block crusher. Okay, so I'm actually at the stage of making the Tinkerer's Construct smeltery. That's been gated quite heavily. We're kind of mid-game, and we're only just getting into Tinkerer's Construct. Especially with the forge, that sort of thing. It looks like there's even Britannia here now. Ooh, interesting. I think this has been a recent addition to the pack itself. So that's going to be interesting. Coming up in probably the next live stream or two. But the actually additions part of things, the Empowerer. Let's just skip this track. That's better. I've been basically taking my whole royalty-free soundtrack library and just playing them through my live stream. So they're available to that, as well as my, I wouldn't say silky smooth voice, but it is what it is. So, the one thing that I really want to make... Actually, the one thing I really want to make is pistons. Pistons are not the regular thing. Pistons are a pain in the butt. We need empowered redstonian crystals. So, that... you need one of these, right? So, I need to get into Evilcraft. Evilcraft is something I don't know anything about. Okay, red nether brick there, that's fine. We can do this. But this whole blood infuser thing, that's going to be pretty much the... hardened blood. Drying basin filled with blood. I'm not in shy. I have to find a tutorial on Evilcraft before the next live stream, and that is going to be happening this coming Sunday. It would be a little bit later today if I didn't have other prior commitments. But Sunday, we're going to be live streaming Modern Skyblock 2, so if you haven't followed me on twitch.tv/Raetac, I suggest you do so now. The VODs for the live streams themselves will be staying up on twitch.tv/Raetac for a period of 14 days. And once the 14 days have expired, they're gone. But rest assured, I'm still making content. Not necessarily with a focus to YouTube, but the live streaming I am definitely enjoying much more than just straight content while making YouTube videos. Or YouTube Let's Plays, to be quite frank. It's a lot freer, I can do more, and these world tours can be a little bit more interesting too. Alright, so if you've got a mind to try out quite a different mod pack, I would suggest Modern Skyblock 2. It is 1.12 and containing a lot of the newer mods coming out right now. Alright folks, if you like the video and like the idea of the world tours so far, do go ahead and click that like button. If you'd like, you can subscribe to the channel and stay posted for the upcoming world tours of this, plus my Galactic Science 2 world, which I'm also streaming on Twitch, and anything else, I suppose, short form wise, I decide to bring out on my channels. And of course, if you're interested in anything else that I've done in the past, check out some of the playlists over to the right hand side. I've been Raetac. I'll see you next time.